What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and this video we are back to talk about Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. And honestly, I gotta be real here. The more I say it, the more I'm able to say it. Funny how those things work. But okay, we talked about this last Friday, and I thought, you know what, this is a double dip type topic, and want to talk about again what's going on online and why I think both sides are kind of going too extreme. Now, okay, cue the Alex, you freaking fence sitter, you. I really actually don't think I am. I think I speak my mind. I think I'm honest. If you don't believe me, I got like 8,000 videos to prove you wrong. I don't really have to worry about, my kind of confidence in that way. You should just maybe think before you talk. I think the main thing to kind of boil it down is labeling. Okay? Labeling is what I've seen the most in the last 6-7 days that I want to talk about in this video. And I am talking about both sides, okay? Now, I want to start with, we already kind of talked about the more anti-woke side last week. And again, that's a big part of it because that kind of, there's the war that's always going on. But I would actually say both sides in terms of what I'm talking about here, because one interesting thing that I have seen so much is the idea that you need to like this game for certain reasons. And I actually kind of find that fascinating. I think I can kind of go off and give you guys maybe a unique perspective on that. So, where I stand, as I've said 1,000 times, is, you make your own decisions, right? You see a trailer, you see the gameplay, and maybe some people get sold on a trailer, maybe some people get sold on a gameplay, or maybe some people need the game to come out. Your money is your money, your time is your time. Don't let other people change that. And that's important as we continue to talk about this, right? Because that is the main caveat. No matter what I say, ultimately, if you want to support the game, if you want to buy the game, that's your choice. That's up to you. But one thing that I am very kind of anti, and I've really embraced it, and I think I've shown that I mean it, in these videos, is I'm not a big fan of other people forcing it on others. Your opinion being shoved down. No, I'm not saying you can't float it out there. I float ideas out there all the time, but to shove it down people's throat and say, and also maybe threaten, right, or attach other things to it and say, well, if you do this, then you are this. We had this with Hogwarts Legacy. I'm not saying that's exactly what's happening here, but that kind of mentality, right? If you don't do this, you are this. If you do this, you are this. I hate that stuff. I hate that stuff so much because I just feel I don't know. It's easy to do, but ultimately I really think it diminishes words. It's not powerful. You had a lot of people obviously jumping on, okay, look at her looks. And, one thing I stressed very, very much in that trailer last week is, for me, the main problem and why, and I didn't leave a dislike or a like on any trailer for this game or any video, showing the trailer. But if I were to leave a dislike, which I probably would, I overall didn't really like the trailer, it's because of the substance. It's because of what they actually showed versus what, after 4 years working on it, what I thought maybe they could show, okay? That was my main issue. It wasn't, oh, because it's a female, I'm disliking it. Now, that's kind of how it started, and where I want to go with it in this video is I actually think it's kind of made the other side incredibly annoying as well, as you might come to expect, right? Because what you really have over the last 6 days is, okay, because the game has her as the main character, right? It is woke, and it is something that you should not support. Now, I said that purposely. You should not support, right? That's where I think they kind of lose their mark. If you want to have an opinion on her, if you want to have an opinion on a game, again, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. I don't want to just leave it there, but that's up to you. That's your choice. It's your time that you're clicking on the trailer and watching it. It's your money that you would or would not buy it. It's up to you. But once you tell people, oh, well, because it's a minority and it makes it woke, and therefore we can't support woke, you can't support woke either. Okay, that's where I draw the line. It's it's not up to you to tell somebody else. And that's just kind of where I stand. However, let me say, it's not just one side. You say, Alex, you're picking on. I'm not. I'll fence it. I'll do both. No, honestly, what I've seen now is actually something really hilarious. And look, I've become so, I don't know, my Twitter feed and other things, I see this stuff quite often, okay? Even though I don't reply to these things, I don't like these things, on Twitter, I still see them so often, so I don't know what's happening. But anyway, bottom line, I see it, and we talk about, in videos, an okay amount, okay? When it comes to the other side, though, it's something that I think might be equally annoying, if not actually worse, because one specific thing that I've seen floating around in the last 6 days is you need to like her. And it's the same. ultimately, it's the same mentality. It's just spun as a positive. And I don't necessarily think that's okay either. I'll give you some examples, okay? So the thing specifically is that, well, you need to think she's attractive. It's a very weird comeback to people saying, oh, because she's unattractive, you cannot support the game. That's weird. That's just flat out weird. Now, look, if you don't like the look of a game, again, this goes back to that ultimate point, right? If you don't like the look of a game, or if you do, like, you make your buying decisions based off it. But again, taking that extra step to say she's unattractive, therefore the game sucks, therefore you can't buy the game. It's just like, those are weird jumps to me. I will say, though, it's equally weird to me that you do the opposite and say, well, no, not only, like, actually, let's go completely opposite of that. She is attractive. In fact, she's the most attractive person in the world. You need to find her the most attractive. If you don't, you must side with them, and you must buy the game because she's an attractive, strong lead character that's female. That is actually why I think these sides kind of feed off each other, and why neither side will ever really die. It's because they're both insane. In the same way that I don't really want to be told that she's super ugly and you can't support the game because that makes it woke and we can't support woke, it's also very cringe and very just weird to tell me, no, well, actually, you need to think she's super attractive. And it's like, well, why do I have to think anything about this character? And that's actually where I want to kind of end this video off, and that's where I want to give some examples. What is weird about the entire thing, and maybe it's like a byproduct of society, maybe it's journalists, maybe it's whatever. Do we really do this with males? And this is not, like, don't go crazy on me. Do we really do this with males? Now, what I mean by this, right? When you see, let's throw out, like, Uncharted, right? Or pick a game that's coming out in, like, 2025 that has a male as a lead, right? Or a game you just played in 2024, like an Ichiban, in Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, right? Think about, like, male characters, okay? Now, it could have 1,000 reasons, but I can tell you for a fact, when I see a male character in a game, my mind doesn't immediately go to, like, attractive, unattractive. I'm buying the game solely because the look of that character in that 10 seconds of the trailer. That's another thing, especially, again, on the other side of things, I'm not a big fan of. Not just like, well, you need to find her attractive. I think that's kind of like weird. Don't tell people you need to find somebody attractive. Everybody's got like their own thing. That's just insane to me. But the second part is, why do we base the quality of a character based off the trailer? And now this really goes for both sides, and you could pick which side you want to talk about any given second. When you see a character in a trailer and stuff, when I think about my favorite games and my favorite characters, it's because of, like, the story of that character, the arc, progression. And I think you kind of need to play the game to know that. And you can do male, female, anything you want, right? When I think of Life is Strange 1, I think of Max Caulfield, right? The trailer, yeah, it can help. And it sets the stage. It has to set the stage because it has to get you involved. But do you base your entire mentality of Max Caulfield or Nathan Drake or Kratos, pick some males, right? Do you base anything off of the trailer that they were in for 20-30 seconds? Are you told something, like a narrative based on that character in that trailer? And the answer, I think, is no. But also, here's the thing, I get on both sides. You don't think all of a sudden they're going to be like the greatest character of all time. You're not being told that character needs to be played because they're going to, revolutionize gaming and they're a strong male character, right? That's not a selling point. And that, I think, is where both sides, maybe like, say, the quote-unquote woke side, has kind of also lost the plot, because seeing a character, you might be fighting against, this anti-woke side so much that you're saying, oh, well, we need to, she seems so strong and she probably is an amazing character. Well, no, hold on right there. Because I saw that a lot. This past week, I saw so many people talk about how great of a character she's probably going to be, or that she will be. Like a guarantee. She's going to be a great character. Why are we basing our decisions off of this character? We think that they're either going to be the worst, and that's where it goes to both sides. She's either going to be like the worst thing of all time and just a trash character, or like the best character, and you need to support her because she is a female and she's going to be the best. How do you know either of those? And the answer is you don't. If you think one of those two things is wrong, you should really think the other one is wrong as well, because it's the same thing. Now, I'm not saying stay neutral on everything. It's up to you. If you don't like how she talks or how she acts, in further trailers and stuff, and you make your buying decision based off that, that's your choice and it's your money. But it's just weird how quickly, I mean, it happens, I think, a lot with the internet, and, the thing like Siri, like just Siri being the lead of The Witcher 4, oh, immediately no. Like, people have already made buying decisions on The Witcher 4 because Siri is the lead, and it's like, how do you know? She might be, she might be bad. She might be terrible. Maybe they don't know how to write her, but maybe she's also going to be incredible. But I keep saying maybe because I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, yep, Siri is going to win Best Character of 2027 when the game comes out. I don't know that. How would I know that based off that trailer? How do you know that on anything? And how would you know that female, male, alien? How would you know that on any character that you see in a trailer? Especially the trailer that we kind of, I guess there's a little bit of a metric there, or something that you have to kind of differentiate. Like a trailer like Intergalactic does not give us enough to make a decision on this character. I don't think there's really anything that screams like, oh, she's so likable and you need to like her. I don't think there's anything that's like, oh, this is going to be the worst character of the year. There's really not in fact, again, that's my main issue with this trailer, is it doesn't really give me almost anything, in my opinion. I don't really have an opinion on her as a character because they didn't give me anything to kind of work with, and that's how I feel. That's why, again, I would say I disliked the trailer overall. But you can't really make a decision yet, and that is the internet. I will tell you that, at least in my opinion, from the bottom of my heart, I think that's the internet. You have to have opinions. You have to have opinions very, very quickly, and you have to kind of have almost like ultimatums really, really quickly. And I do think that's probably why I'm a little bit different. People say, oh, you're a fence sitter. Am I a fence sitter because I just kind of wait for a little bit more to come out and then I make a decision? Is that why? Because number one, I don't actually think that's a fence sitter. Number two, I don't actually think that's bad at all. I feel like because this game is 2 to 3 years out, you have time to kind of like think about it, and you have time to kind of have other things come out to prove to you if you want to buy the game or not. I'm not saying you have to buy the game. For those that say, oh, Alex is, he's encouraging everybody to get it. No, I don't care what you do if you buy the game or not. I don't know. I've said this before, like Naughty Dog, they're in an interesting place. I don't know if this game is going to be up to like what they've done in the past. It could be their first like major miss. If you didn't think The Last of Us 2 was, it depends on the person. Right now, like it's not even one of my most anticipated games. That's another thing. I don't know. I don't want to talk to like certain comments I know are going to come, but it is funny because people just generally don't listen. I don't really think it's fence sitting. I think it's personally just, don't tell me what to feel. Don't tell me what to think. I will feel and think what I want based off what I see. And what I saw wasn't really actually all that much. And that's a negative. That's a negative on the trailer. But like, can you really make a decision based off, can you make a decision on the entire game? And can you make a decision on the character because of that? I don't think you can. I mean, again, everybody's different. Right now for me, I'm willing to wait. And it might get better, it might get worse. And that's totally, I'm not saying either of those are impossible. They definitely are. But I don't know. I just, look, nobody's like actually come to me. But yet again, even the comments, in last week's video, I actually did see, on Twitter, you see a lot of it. Twitter's kind of like a cesspool of this stuff. But I did see a very fair amount. I mean, I saw comments of just like berating people. If you liked the game or you thought, that this was going to be a good game, you're an idiot and terrible. And it's like, I just don't think that's right. But on the other side of things, when people say, well, I don't think there's a single reason to be like worried, or I don't think there's a single thing to dislike about this trailer. And if you do think something's off, or you think the trailer's, a little bad, then you're insane. That's also, I really think both of those are wrong. Because again, it's like, well, both sides are judging so hard. They might just not see it. Like the people that say, oh my God, like the trailer was perfect. How could you have seen, or it's going to be a masterpiece. There's no way in hell that it's not a masterpiece. You don't know that at all. Even if you think Naughty Dog is the greatest studio of all time, we talk about this all the time on the channel. Studios, the people that are inside them flip all the time. The studio that made even The Last of Us Part 2 is not necessarily the Naughty Dog that's here now. So that's no guarantee whatsoever. So those kind of things are just like strange to me, where it's like, I don't know. It could be. But to say it's 1000%, there's no doubt in my mind. And if you think it's not going to be a masterpiece, well, now I'm going to label you something. Now you're something else. No. That's not how it works, or that at least shouldn't be. And see, that's how you get fighting. That's literally how this stuff starts. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon's turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.